located in the beautiful town of Bernathen, Pennsylvania, in the very southeastern part of the state. So great to have you joining us today on this beautiful fall day. And today, what we're going to talk about is that whole idea of like, how do we know when we're kind of in the flow of things versus out of the flow of things, connected to God, disconnected from God, and it's stuff we already know. But I want to talk about that today and use a particular passage. It's actually next up in our line here in the Gospel of John, where Jesus says something really fascinating, and I think it's something we all know to be true on a very figurative level. And I want to start by saying, as we hear this, real important, Jesus is talking about a particular uh, clerical group called the Pharisees. It's real important for us not to fall into the trap of trying to identify, oh, this group out there are the Pharisees. It's not about that at all. It's about, like, how do I look inside my heart and see where I'm acting this way and get that this is really about us. It's not about other people. That simple. So let's go ahead, folks, and take a look at it. It was pretty interesting. Jesus goes on. This is after what we had talked about yesterday. If I am telling the truth, why don't you believe me? He who belongs to God hears what God says. The reason you do not hear is that you do not belong to God. So it's this interesting dichotomy there, where Jesus is obviously saying, look, there's a part of all of us that can hear God, and there's a part that can't. And at different times, different ages, different stages of our life, one of those two might be in more power than the other. We may be in a time where it's just a softer time and we're really, really attuned to God and God's work in our lives. And there's other times when we're not. And one of the, I don't know whether it's ironic or comforting, probably a little bit of both, is a lot of the time when people are really struggling, that's when they're most attuned to God's voice as it works through their lives, which is, yeah, it's ironic, but it's also very comforting, because I think that's when a lot gets stripped away. Now, let's just think for a minute. All right, what's the part of you that you absolutely know cannot listen to God, cannot hear God, has no interest in God, is just totally full of itself? And again, full of itself, folks. Like, our egos get us at the top, and our egos get us at the bottom. Both of those can be rackets. And it's not that life doesn't have highs and lows that are worthy of note. Of course it does, and of course they're worthy of note. It's just what we got to be careful, because the ego shows up a lot here, and the ego can show up a lot here as well. And just thinking for yourself, yeah, like, where do I just know I can't hear God. I just am not attuned to it. If for me, it's when I'm frenetic, when I'm just get going way too fast. I'm moving a million miles an hour. I start to forget just the simple spiritual disciplines of prayer, reading, meditation, just basic stuff that cost me all of like 5 minutes a day. When I forget that, I get off track pretty quickly, or when I'm really trying to, in an argument of some sort, I'm not in a great hearing place. One thing to think about, and I was thinking about this today, getting ready for chatting with you folks, is I think one area where we definitely know where we're off track is where these two things happen. These two parts cannot really hear God, and that's control and blame. Anytime I feel like we're wrapped up in control and blame, we're going to be in trouble, and we are simply not going to be able to hear God. And the two are connected. Like, isn't it interesting, right? That when we're really just in that blaming, complaining, which we all get into, that blaming and complaining stuff, it really is sort of a veiled way to control the world, because we believe the world somehow has not acquiesced to our particular desires. And with that, I love this quote by Ed Lamont, and I say it a lot. If you've come to New Church Live on Sundays, you've heard me say this many times. She said she was a, quote, control enthusiast, and that nothing ever left her hands without claw marks on it. And I love that, because, right, I think it's so true, right? We will all wrestle with that idea of control, and nothing will leave our hands without claw marks on it. And it leads to kind of this propensity for blaming the world for not being different, blaming other people for not being different, blaming our challenges on others. it's all a racket of control. And the fact is, we cannot hear God there. God is just not into the blame game, and not into the control game. It gets back to what we said as we started out this week. Know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Like, that's the gift, freedom. And if the gift is freedom, think for a minute about what life would be like without needing to control, or out with and without needing to blame. And it's the need to that's the real problem. If we need to control things, that's a problem. If we need to blame, that's a problem. Of course, as always, there's mitigating circumstances. There's lots of situations where we do have to exercise control. I have to exercise control as best I can over the things that our church is trying to do. But I can't have that neediness around it. It can't be about me. And I'm sure that resonates with you as well. So let's just think for today. First off, just what's the part of you that just can't hear God? Just be clear about it and just smile at it and laugh at it. And yep, there's a part of me that has no desire to hear God whatsoever. And then take just a minute, 30 seconds or so, maybe as the bell rings, to think, yeah, what's the freedom for me if I give up blame and control? What's the freedom for me if I give up blame and I give up control? And I think you'll find a free spot there, a free place in there where God can show up in a new way. So that's the thought for today, folks. And what we're going to do now is we're going to ring the bell and just clear our minds. That'll be followed by a little meditation, a prayer, a blessing, and then we're going to tune in to the New Church Lives Facebook page where you can leave a comment. Again, we're now doing a totally different streaming starting this week, where we stream 4 different places, and where we're going to be looking at comments live. I'll look at comments later on, but we're at the live comments we're going to take a look at will all be off of New Church Live's Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook and you're on my page, I'll respond to you later. If you want to hop over onto New Church Live's Facebook page and join the stream there, I will be commenting on that in just a few short minutes. So with that, friends, let's all get a big breath. And listen to the bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, friends. What I'm going to do now, you can put a comment in there on our Facebook Live page for New Church Live. I'm going to pull that up here on my phone because that's the easiest way to do it. And then we'll be offering some quick commentary here in a second. Let's see if we can get the page up here. The page might not be cooperating. with me. Oh no. Well, folks, it looks like I'm having some technical difficult. Oh, there we go. Thought I was having some technical difficulties here. Just will give us a second to pull it up. Again, you can go ahead and leave a comment there. All right. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Okay, there we go. So, our comments today. Sorry, well, we will get more efficient at this over time, I'm sure. Paige, great to see you join us this morning. And Nathan sent me a text last night. Reverend Nathan Gladys, who leads a small group, and he said, Paige, you guys had a great kickoff last night, which is terrific. Teresa, good morning to you, my dear friend. Always great to see you. Look forward to seeing you this afternoon at Sermon Writing Team. Tori, greetings from Lowe's break room. I'm finally learning my new job well enough to orchestrate break timing. Very good. Well, great to have you joining us there, Tori, from up at Lowe's. That's good stuff. Yeah, Sherry, you know what? I don't know. Thursdays have always, for some reason, have always been my favorite day of the week. I don't even know why. Just something about them that I love. Sherry, great to see you joining us. Good morning to Marcus. Ego, edge God out. I love that. And I love in the movie Ratatouille that the critic was named Ego. Like that's really good too. Uh, Thanks for the clarity. Glad to add. Yeah, when one thing after another starts hitting, oh man, that's so good, Patty. When one thing after another starts hitting me from all sides, and I try to come down and repeat, give it to God and let it go. Yeah, and that's the God, the gift of desperation is another acronym there. Marcus gave us one for ego, and I think that really is the gift, right? It's interesting the way we learn things in challenging times that we just don't learn any other way, which is always interesting me. Paige, claw marks, gotta love that. Yeah, I thought you would like that. That's a very Paige. She sort of has your sense of humor, by the way. Gene, good morning to you. Len, good morning to you. Uh, Linda, good morning to you, my friend. And let me see. Teresa writes claw marks. Yep, and that's very very true. So hopefully you folks are going to have a great day without claw marks, being able to let go of all control and blame, or at least the need to control and the need to blame. That's where you really want to focus. That should be more clear, and just have a day where you can hear God a little better. So take care, folks. God bless. We'll see you. Bye bye.